My dudes, get your lubes! We gotta take down some of these huge monsters! But first, we gotta upgrade our gear! Oh, thanks, Gemma! Okay. Oh, wow. Holy mother of God! I've never seen such fine craftsmanship. Okay, I gotta start out saying that I was not a huge fan of Monster Hunter until Wilds came out. I tried a few times to get into the series, but nothing ever clicked. I first played Monster Hunter on the PS2 back in the day, and I'll just say it, as soon as I see a mini-map with a bunch of narrow corridors in it, I immediately lose interest. I'm never gonna get it. I don't see what's so fun about walking down narrow hallways the entire game, with barely anything to interact with in the world. And it's not just Monster Hunter that has this problem. For some reason, Japanese games try to prioritize graphics over world building, and this started around the PS2 era. The first time I noticed it was in Final Fantasy X, which was released in 2001. This was the first Final Fantasy game that ditched the world map, which made every other Final Fantasy game so awesome. So this left little weeby Scouter V in a predicament. I prefer Japanese aesthetics in games over Western ones. You know what I'm talking about. However, a little small nerdy man named Todd Howard came along and dropped a game called The Elder Scrolls Oblivion in 2002, and my god! Keep in mind, the first Monster Hunter came out 2 years after Oblivion launched, and it was at the same price point. Are you really telling me that Capcom, bathing in all that sweet Resident Evil money, this is the best that they could do? Come on, man. Oh geez, guys, let's gather some berries to prepare for the next fight. Oh sweet, a huskberry. Meanwhile, I'm out here in Oblivion like, you better not buy any unripe bananas, bitches, cause you won't be around to eat them. Now look, I'm not saying that every game needs to be open world like Skyrim and Oblivion, but it still blows my mind that not a single Japanese company has tried to take Skyrim's open world, throw a bunch of weeby shit in it, and top it off with gratuitous amounts of the old ooh woo. Come on dudes, tell me you wouldn't want to play that game. So many years later, I tried to get into Monster Hunter again with Monster Hunter World, and while a lot of Monster Hunter fans loved it, it still didn't hook me in. So I was a bit skeptical about Monster Hunter Wilds. Not to mention the game is almost 10,000 yen in Japan, which is basically 100 US dollars. So I was debating on even picking this one up, but a friend of mine hooked me up with a copy just to try it out. And 50 hours later, I finally get it. What do y'all think about my particle? Huh? What do you mean that's offensive? So check it out. Normally I don't score games on my channel, but I'll just say it right now. This game for me is about an 8 out of 10. The game loop of taking down bosses and upgrading gear is fun as hell. And the world doesn't feel as restricted as the other games did. And don't give me shit for saying this, but I spent around 8 hours running around fishing. It gave me those old Ocarina of Time fishing vibes. And now that I've finished the story, I've been playing with a good friend of mine, Pervy Sage, on his streams, and it's been fun as hell. Overall, the game slaps, and I see why people like it. So why is this game not a 9 or a 10 out of 10? Well, some of the design choices hold the game back. The worst thing about it is the boring story. Some people have told me they don't mind it, but this is the first game I've played where I've skipped every single cutscene. The only characters that were even remotely interesting was Alma, my own Pariko, and of course Gemma. She upgrades armor, by the way. I don't care about Miss Manjaw and this wussy ladyboy. And who the hell thought this kid Nada was a good idea? I can't be the only one that wanted to punt this little turd after seeing him try to throw a rock at Arkveld. And yet for some reason, we have to keep hauling his lame ass throughout the entire game. Now, a lot of people are gonna say, who cares about the story? Just skip it and get to the end game. That's where all the fun is. And dudes, come on. If the story was actually interesting, you wouldn't be skipping it. And if it's gonna be this boring, Capcom might as well quit wasting resources making it and just remove it from the game. I can't help but to compare this game to Elden Ring, and even though I had no clue what the hell was going on, it was awesome! Another thing I gotta bring up is Capcom's commitment to keep pushing this genderless weirdo ideology. And before I do that, I just want to say that I know that these are not deal breakers for most people. But as I talk about it, I want you to think, does this design choice make the game better or worse for the player? Let's start with the obvious removal of gender in the character creation. A few years ago, Capcom and other Japanese gaming companies jumped the bandwagon to add this stupid Type A and Type B nonsense to their games, and over time players started calling out how stupid this ideology is. So recently we've seen Japanese companies try to push this appearance bullshit instead, as if it's any better. You can see it in Dragon Quest III HD2 Remake, and it's even worse here in Wilds. How bad? Well, let's take a look. So let's say you want to make some knockoff Tifa. Since they added men and women into one slider, you have to go through all the male characters to get to the female ones. Annoying, but whatever. How about the voices? Well, I don't know why, but for some reason, the odd numbers are male voices and the even numbers are female. Oh, but lucky us. With voice pitch, you can actually make every voice sound male or female. Wow, this is great, right? Wrong. Get this. For some reason, after Capcom tried so hard to hide gender from the game, NPCs still refer to you as she or he based on not your appearance. Oh no, no, no. It's based on which voice you selected, regardless of the pitch you choose. This is a joke. Man, why can't these people stop hurting themselves in their own confusion? Not only did Capcom end up with a character creation menu that doesn't make sense, it's a trap. It ultimately just triggered the purple hairs that they were catering to in the first place, as now people are complaining about being misgendered since they can't select their own pronouns. So again, I ask you dudes, what value does this provide to anybody? Even if you don't care about it being in the game, can we all agree how stupid of a game design this is? Another thing I have to bring up is how greedy Capcom has gotten. They don't just want money, they want all the money. The game runs terrible on PC because of all this DRM crap they put in the game. I don't think it's right to punish everybody just because some people would rather download the game. Capcom, your game already made you millions. Turn it off already and take a look at all this DLC. This is all just flat out anti-consumer and it's a shame to see. Come on Capcom, what is this meme horse armor? Who do you think you are, Bethesda? This should all be in the base game, dudes. Oh, you want to change how your character looks? Oh well, fuck you, give us money. They made this a paid feature. Look dudes, I don't like to tell people what to do with their money, but for the love of God, please don't buy this crap. If you're playing on PC right now, there are already mods to bypass this scam. Shame on you, Capcom. Anyways, like I said, the game is fun, and I'm almost 60 hours into it. But unfortunately, I still have to give the game a negative review on Steam for all the greedy, anti-consumer bullshit. And if you other dudes bought it on PC, I would suggest doing the same. I highly doubt it, but maybe Capcom will do something about it. Anyways, I gotta get out of here. I got a date with a certain blacksmith. Peace. あれはデビルマン